Hey, welcome back to the RJ Chapman Show. We've got a special guest today, Marcia Whitfield. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
What do you think of the set?
I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Wasn't expecting it. It is so gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so glad you came. And this is going to be a great story. I'm going to ask questions because I don't know much about it.
Okay.
I do know that we have a program called Special Steps.
Yes, sir.
And I'm really interested about what are you guys doing with these great kids? Young adults now.
Yeah. They're forever kids, I always say, because I still refer to them as kids, and they're like, "We're not kids, Miss Marcia," and I'm like, "Okay, all right." As you know, we have 4 boys. Justin and I have 4 boys, and our 2 middle boys are on the autism spectrum.
Right.
So the oldest of the 2 is Jackson.
Right.
And Cowboy Jack, as he's referred to in this town.
Before you go any further, is he still doing the Cowboy Jack stuff?
So, he draws every day.
I know.
He's a beautiful artist. And it's really funny because how Cowboy Jack came about is when I wanted to start this program for special needs adults, Justin looked at me and said, "So how are we going to fund this thing?"
Right.
And I was like, "Well, I figured we wouldn't." He was like, "Wrong." So we, not that he wouldn't have, because he would have, but Jackson, like I said, is a beautiful artist. So I thought, well, why don't we make some merch?
Yeah.
And our first year of Special Steps was 100% funded by Cowboy Jack merch. And it was everything from T-shirts that has his drawings on it to, the hats you see around town. And everybody, you got your hats.
And I've worn
I see you representing.
I do wear it. And I was like I don't know where I was, Hoboken.
Yeah.
And this chick comes up to me. She goes, "Hey, nice hat." And she had her Cowboy Jack on. I'm like, "Oh, that's the gig." And I wore it out. I need another one.
Okay.
Is he still selling them?
Yes.
Good.
We still have.
I know. Okay. So he's involved.
We haven't pushed him, because we're lucky enough to be supported and known about.
Oh, you are being supported. Good.
So,
well, keep going. I love the story.
Okay.
The kids.
So when Jackson started preparing to graduate high school, because in the special needs community, if you have a special needs child, they can be in the school system till they're 21, 22 years old.
Okay.
Jack wanted no part of that.
Right. Oh, at 18, he wanted that.
Yeah, he was, I'm done. My brothers were out at 18. I shouldn't have to do it.
Good.
So he wanted out, but I quickly learned that there was nothing on a consistent basis for our special needs adults to do for socialization, for ongoing socialization.
Yes.
Being in a small town is a wonderful thing, but it also has its downfalls.
Sure.
If we were in a bigger city, there would be a lot more. So
Sure.
I searched. And so I thought, well, I guess we're going to start something, because what happens is these adults graduate out of the system,
Right.
and then they couch sit. They're on couches, and they, Janie McMillan, who works at the middle school, love her.
I'm so glad you brought her up, because I thought she was doing something to try and start this thing too.
So Janie's program, the Hero Club program that's in the high school,
Right.
really kind of inspired me as a next step, because Janie created kind of a buddy system in the school system. And I talked to her a lot preparing for Special Steps. But Janie, she's been a big part of this program for us. But we started the program, and Janie would have these little parties 4 times a year. She would have a Halloween party, a Christmas party. She would do all these. And these adults, the rule was, if you graduated out of the system, then you could come to these parties, right? So these kids would sit around, and adults, excuse me.
Right.
And they would wait all year for these 4 times to get together to have socialization. And it just broke my heart. I thought, that's so unfair. I mean, I had Jacob, the oldest,
Right.
who our typical kids, they go on to college and they have typical friendships, and special needs deserve the same. They deserve a community.
Well, I see where you're connecting the dot now, because I remember her doing those things.
Yes.
And now I watch Special Steps. So you're giving them more things to do like that.
I'm giving them a community. I'm giving them a place of belonging.
Safety.
We all desire. And furthermore, Special Steps, we're at 3.5 years now. So we've been operating for 3.5 years. And it has created something also for caregivers, because it becomes a very isolating life sometimes when you have special needs.
Yeah.
And so, although we know that there are people around us who are in the same struggle,
Sure.
it's very hard to even find 5 or 10 minutes to have conversations around, the busy lives. And so, what I love more than anything is as we're doing our activities, I'll look off sometimes and I'll see the parents interacting with each other and asking questions to each other. And I've created that community for them too. So not only do these adults have a place where they belong and their friends, but the caregivers also now have a network.
Boy, I bet they love the break too, and somebody that's in it together.
Yes.
Or the little ice cream guy, the little ice cream truck.
Tom and Roberts.
Love them.
So years ago, funny story, I was at a friend's house and Tom came around and I remember Robert was sitting in the front seat.
Right.
And I noticed he had autism because he was rocking.
Yep.
And so, of course, everybody was getting their ice cream, but I was really into Robert and I wanted to know what was going on with Robert. So I stepped up and tried to speak to him and he kept asking me for potato chips. And I said, I don't have potato chips, Tom, I went back to Tom and I ordered my ice cream. And I said, he's asking for potato chips. And he said, yeah, I told him the next stop he could have potato chips. And I said, may I give them to him? Because I feel like we have a bond here.
Are they still doing that?
And then they still have the ice cream truck. And Tom created that ice cream truck as a way, once Robert graduated, he cannot be without Tom. So he created something that he could do.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Forever. Yes.
That's incredible.
And he loves it. He's the bubble blower. So he now has a bubble gun.
I know.
And he blows his bubbles.
And when that bubble machine went off, I went to our church and I got us a bubble machine. I think that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He loves that.
But it's pretty funny because all these years later, here comes Robert through the doors of Special Steps. And I had never seen him from that point until this point. And so it's really amazing the lives that are coming together.
It's amazing what that dad did to create that niche to be with his son.
An amazing human.
And we had that ice cream truck up for our OTC one time, and it was free ice cream for all of them because they did good. And Robert was there, and the bubbles were hanging around. That's just one of many stories, I'll bet you.
Yes, it's a magical thing. I think it has a lot. It shows the resilience and the strength of special needs caregivers that they're going to find a way. Right. I'm so impressed when I look around and I see how they balance their lives because they're going to find a way to care for their people, and they're the most unique humans because of who they're entrusted with by God.
Oh my gosh! Well, the miracle field.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
I've got a little nephew, and he's a rookie.
Okay.
I think we talked about him with Madison.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, he's not a rookie anymore. He's finished his first year.
Okay.
But and then there's a Hochter. Her last name was Hochter.
It's Sean.
She's doing and she was in my class, and her brother, I think, is, and then Lissy's mom was there.
Oh yeah, Lissy's in Special Steps.
I mean,
So it's really pretty cool because Special Steps started, but of course the Miracle Field had been going on for years before I came along. And then slowly I started seeing all the Miracle Field kids come because, they have seasons there.
Right.
Whereas Special Steps is around the clock. So we operate all year. Wow. So it was really neat to see all of them start coming over to our program too. So now we have this, partnership. So it's really a beautiful thing. They went and spread the word to the rest of them.
Sure.
So slowly we started.
Well, are you a one-man band?
No, oh my God.
You got help?
No, I have the most amazing help. So that is, I am.
Because I always look at you.
The idea, right?
Right.
And that's the thing. And I tell everybody that I get to open my mouth and tell that this is not about Marcia Whitfield. First of all, this is God's program because I was really, really wanting a place where they could come together and interact. And he just provided it. So the Camden PSA told us we could operate completely out of their building for free of charge. None of us had to have memberships, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
That's really nice.
it really is. He opened so many doors, and then we are an accredited program of Georgia Special Olympics. We're umbrellaed under the school system Special Olympics. So
Okay, because I remember the Special Olympics at the school.
yes,
So that's connected to it all too.
yes. So
Wow.
we are a part of that, and so that's where that's
Yeah.
where our nonprofit comes in. And originally we were going to train and do games and do sports and stuff, but then COVID happened.
Oh,
So we started brainstorming in 2019,
right.
and then 2020, was a rough year. And
Rough couple of years.
yes, yes. And so I went back to the PSA because special needs being the vulnerable population, Special Olympics was still closed. And so I said, I have all these families that are, wanting this community. What can we do in the meantime?
Right.
And they said, well, anything you want. And so I was laying there in bed that night and I'm like, what can I do? And I thought, well, we'll just start a walking club. And I came up with the name of Special Steps. And
That's really
so we started as a walking club just to kind of get us all together. And from there, we morphed into something we were never meant to be, which is life steps. Now we do life together.
Tonight,
No, we're still Special
Okay.
Steps, but the name was prompted from literally step.
I like Special
I
Steps.
do too, and I think it fits us well.
And when they get their certificates and so did so many steps this month or
Yes,
whatever.
So we have a challenge every month to see who can get the most steps in. You can win once a month a year,
Okay.
and you get $100. And
Oh.
boy, they get out there and they pound
Well,
that
see, now,
pavement.
there's a good to exercise, and all you got to do is walk.
That's right.
And I think
That's
that's
right.
awesome.
And I love to see that even those who struggle with
Right.
walking still
Still,
turn in their mouths.
right.
And that's one thing that's so beautiful is your disabilities melt away when you walk into that room. And everybody has abilities. We're just all differently abled. And
That's
so
so good.
when you walk into the room, if you're new, our people, they're loving
Love on you.
They
Yeah.
just are lovers.
And I bet these people,
Accept everybody,
yes.
and they don't. It's really a sweet thing because you'll see. Let's say we're playing kickball.
Yeah.
The other steppers know. I call them steppers, by the way. The other steppers know who isn't good on their feet, and you'll automatically see Cameron go help Letitia to the bases. They naturally help each other. And they could teach the world a whole lot because they just fill in gaps without asking questions. And
Back in ROTC, we've had a lot of those great
yeah,
kids.
you have.
And they
You
teach us
have.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
I did a TED Talk,
Yeah.
and on my TED Talk, I said, we had everybody from, a guy going to the Naval Academy
Sure.
to a little guy with Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and everybody in between.
Right.
And I even said on the TED Talk, I said, the little Down syndrome kids, they taught us more than anybody else.
Absolutely.
And I learned from them so much. And I was going to say about our kickball games on Friday,
Yeah.
we had a lot of them, and they were running, they go to first, and no matter how hard we tried to put them out, they always got a home run.
Yeah. But listen, that's another thing. Everybody wins there. So we're all winners. And it's
cute.
It's the most amazing environment to be in. So back to your original question, because
Yeah.
that's what I do. I go all the way around.
Yeah, I do that too. We go down the rabbit hole.
But I have volunteers that volunteer. I'm up to about 15 volunteers, and I have the best of the best. So most of my volunteers, I would say, are retired people.
Uh-oh.
And yeah,
Here it comes.
what you doing? And from 10 to 11 every Tuesday and Thursday. There's my plug.
Yeah, I am retired.
I know you're right. And you cannot walk out of there in a bad mood. You
No.
just can't.
No.
But I have just professionals who've been in the school system for years and years. And then I have others who have all different walks of life, and they walk in there because, they have something in common. Those that are done with their work life
Right.
are still searching for purpose.
Yes.
And the steppers that walk in are searching for purpose. And it becomes just this beautiful mesh of all these people who just are enjoying each other so tremendously. But all of that to say, I am the smallest part of this program. I promise you. I set up the schedules and
Sure.
I create the activities. So we do everything from art projects to light sports.
I want to know about the little rocks
One thing that I'd love to do is get community involved because community involvement equals awareness, right? So we do things like have the sheriff's office and first responders come out a lot because I want them to see their faces. I want them to know who our special needs community are. But I also want everybody else in the community to know them too. And I'll have people say all the time, I had somebody say, "Hey, Lissy," to me, and I don't even know who they are, in the grocery store. And I said, "Well, you're famous if you're
Lissy is famous.
Yes, Lissy is definitely famous, but I want our community to know these people. So if they need help, they usually catch in. So we came up with this idea. I'm trying to remember because I want to give credits to whoever. Oh, it was Jenny. So Jenny, who is a stepper's mom, Anthony, who I adore, she showed me in another town where they had a community pet rock snake. Okay. And so she said, we should do this and we should invite the community. Well, it just turned into this huge thing.
I know.
And the city approved it. And pretty soon we had businesses painting pavers. We had the school classes, all the art classes were painting rocks and pavers. We had people on a daily basis sending me pictures of them placing these rocks and pavers out. And we ended up, a mile down the road.
It started at the rec center, right?
Started at the rec center.
Did it go towards
and it went into the lakes, towards the lakes. And it just grew and grew and grew.
Now, what happened at the end? Did they pick them up and sell them? Or?
So we have my sweet friend Jim Parham down in St. Mary's. She came up with the idea of having a garden to teach our steppers how to healthy live, eat well, give them vocational skills of learning how to grow things. And then we're going to eventually develop that into a little using farmers markets to sell our produce. But it's a way to really, she's an amazing human, but she dreamt this up, right? So now we have Earth Steps, which is an affiliate program of Special Steps. And so Steppy the rock snake, because he became so many pet.
What was his name?
Steppy the rock snake. He is actually at Earth Steps Garden, and we are going to use the pavers to create a foundation around the beds, the raised beds. We made the beds raised so that ours that cannot bend down can assist.
I've seen a lot of those gardens recently.
We had our first little season where we just started with flowers, and we grew sunflowers, and I was pushing them everywhere. I was like, Justin, put these in Chick-fil-A, and all the things. Yeah. So it's really a beautiful thing.
I did want to know more about that because I was watching it on Facebook and I was looking at that little snake and I'm like, where are they building this
Steppy
thing?
Was a hit.
He was a hit.
He was supposed to be just a month of collecting these snakes, but people were so adamant they want another month. So I called back up and
is that an annual thing?
The city manager, right? I don't know that I can handle. Boy, let me tell you, people putting rocks down is special. Going and picking them up is even more special because it was a lot of work. And we had some dedicated friends, Dan Roth and Big T from Big T's Drywall. He came out and we had beds. It took quite a bit to move all these rocks to Earth Steps because we had quite a snake out there.
Well, something else you had a meeting yesterday or something? A big meeting, or was it 2 days ago? Or
for
something about you were doing more stuff with the special kids. You had a group of people together.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. So we have grown so much that we've outgrown the PSA, the Camden PSA. We just, they have a lot of programs going on, and we kind of, when we started our program 3.5 years ago, there were 3, and 2 of them were my kids, right? So
gotta have like 50.
Yeah.
Well, how big are you?
We're around 35 to 38 on a regular basis, but that's not
sure.
I think we could get to 50 if I included everybody that comes now.
Where are you gonna go?
We are going to Leon Washington Life Center, which is part of Evergreen Baptist Church.
Okay.
It's right off Kinlaw Road.
Okay. I think I know it.
Bluff.
Yes.
Just right there on the corner. He built this big, huge life center that he wanted the community to use, and he approached us. Actually, they approached the Chamber of Commerce a couple of years ago and just said, if they ever need anything, let us know. And
it's meant to be. This stuff is meant to be.
It's God.
Yeah,
God's aligned.
I'm telling you.
100%.
Where do you go to church?
I go to the Church of 1122 in Jacksonville.
I go to Browntown Baptist.
Okay.
Where it's a little tiny church.
Love it. I love big and small. We're all one body, all one.
You know what I do there? Announcements.
Do you really?
Yes.
You stand up and say, our potluck supper is.
Try and, because announcements have their place.
Yes, they do.
And yeah, I try to do it different, but it's the same size, but I still try to do it different. But yes, the Lord is working in this whole thing big time.
Absolutely.
I love it. So where are we with time? Got 10 minutes. Really? Great.
We talk a lot.
What are you doing?
20 minutes.
Huh?
The light's blinking.
I didn't want to get it. Oh, wow. I thought we were done with time.
Listen,
We
said a lot in 20 minutes.
How was it so far? Oh, we better get going then because this chip. Okay, we've got 9 minutes. Okay. So where do we want to go next?
Okay.
I want to talk. I'm ready. Ready? I want to talk about, I'm watching it all the time. They have like balls or dances and they're next to rivers and big sidewalks and everybody is dressed so nice and they're having so much fun. And I'm looking at them and going, there's Lissy, because I know I'm going to come out.
You should. So we have been super lucky because Cedar Lodge, which is, it's exit 26. It's way on up there, but they have the most beautiful venue. The Sydney Lanier Bridge that's in Brunswick. It overlooks that, like you can see it off in the distance, but it's beautiful. And the dance floor is literally right there. We have what we call the water guys.
I was going to say.
We have the men along the edge there and we're like, make sure nobody falls in. But
it really looks pretty though.
It's beautiful.
They look all forward to that thing. I'm sure
it's once a year.
Oh, once a year.
So we've had 3 of them so far. This past year we did masquerade ball style. So it was super fun. Yeah. Every year we kind of pick a different theme, but they look forward to that. And, one thing I can say, one thing I really want to say about Special Steps is, aside from the volunteers that make it possible, because they are the literal hands and feet that make this program work, there's no way I could instruct. And a lot of our participants require hand-over-hand instruction and reminders and that sort of thing. And so they are really, really instrumental.
Because they do a lot of little crafts and stuff.
They're amazing. And we love it.
You have to have those people help them get through those things and be proud of what they built or made.
100%. And they're never disappointed.
No.
You can't. I've never. Okay.
They always get them.
I take this back. I had one time that a stepper said to me, "This is lame. I could have stayed at home." And we were making the Rice Krispie treats. And I was like, I don't know who thinks Rice Krispie treats are lame.
This is the greatest thing on the planet.
Yeah. But other than that, like you don't have them refuse to participate. You don't have them critique.
They got to be looking forward to going.
Every and anything. Yeah. I could literally walk in and say, there's nothing to do today. We're just going to talk. And they would be like, okay. And they would talk. Now, their favorite activity.
What is it?
That's what it is.
Eating pizza.
No, they do love to eat. We are professional partiers.
Yes.
But karaoke.
Oh, really?
They want to karaoke their life away. And I'm like, y'all, we can't do karaoke every week. Like, we've got to.
Lissy does karaoke.
Oh, Lissy gets up there. It's always I Love Rock and Roll. Always. That's her song. But they live for karaoke.
We had her at the Winter Ball. And David, and at the Winter Ball, David always became the king. Yeah. He was the king of the whole.
Who remembers
every year for 5 years. And he would always ask.
Where is David now?
I think he spends a lot of time at home.
Yeah, I need to go get him.
Freddie's retired. So Freddie needs to get an ice cream truck.
Yeah, or something. Or
something to get David out there because I would miss him. I will. Yeah. I will. But I just remember, he was always surprised. And then he would go crazy and get the thing on, and he would dance with
every time.
Oh my
This month we're going to have a dance off. So I bought a big red carpet and they're going to get to dance until they get to the end of the red carpet and we're going to have judges.
So I was going to say, are we judging the dances? Yes. Well, I love a red carpet. Did you see the red carpet?
I did see a red carpet. I felt like royalty.
You know why I have that? Because I want to come home and feel like the king.
Well, aren't you?
But I love red carpet.
Justin feels like the king when he walks through the door. Because the dogs greet him, but
I want Justin to go to Toastmasters.
I know
he's going to go.
He's going to. He will. He wants to. He wants to do that.
By the way, your husband's a great guy.
I am.
He has supported me so much in my program. I mean, really supported. Like, don't tell anybody, but I'm going to help you.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
really
pretty good man. I think I'm going to keep him after 25
I
years.
think you should.
Yeah.
And I think, and I like your son teaching school. He
Yes.
got through his first year.
Yeah.
And
First year teachers.
what is he teaching? I forgot.
So he was teaching
Music?
language arts, ELA, which is that he wants social studies. You know,
Oh,
his goal was to go to theater, but
yeah.
you know, he's like, I'm not sure I want to. You know, he's a theater major.
I know.
So but I don't know. He's getting ready to get married next year.
I saw that
and
too.
Megan's finishing up with pharmaceutical school, and
I
yeah,
mean, they're both just feeling it out
Yeah.
slowly, figuring it out
right.
properly. Because I mean, they're under
Oh, he
they're-
does things properly.
well, they're under a beautiful umbrella. Come on. And
No, we did everything the opposite. I'm telling you, they learned.
so you're
they
going,
learned what not to do.
it's
for
amazing.
exactly.
He's so good though. He's so good. I see him. He makes the balloons. He's doing this clothing thing. I even learned a little bit from him
I'm
on some of
gonna
those
tell you,
videos today.
His heart is the most
Yes.
gentle, caring heart. Like God knew I needed Jacob first in line because he is just a superstar to those brothers, and
Yes. And he was a very
so
good cadet,
compassionate.
Marcia. He was a very good cadet. I mean,
Thank you.
he, like you say, you know, you can tell when they care,
Yeah.
when they genuinely cared, and he cared, and he took pride in his stuff.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah, I told him I was coming to sit and talk with you. He said, "Oh my gosh, I love Master Chief. Tell him I said hello." So
I see him around all the time. He was at the train station the other day or
Yeah.
something, and I'm with my wife. I said, "There's Jacob. Let's go. He can say hi." Of course, he doesn't talk. He just makes a balloon or something.
I know. You know, he's not supposed to talk when he's
Yeah,
a character.
he's a
but I'm
character.
Like, whatever.
I go, "Come on, man."
Talk to his mother if that makes you feel better. But
I make him give me a hug anyway.
yeah, for sure. He tries to do little things to make him still feel the artsy.
Aw.
So.
Well, what can we this is going out on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Honestly, you're doing it.
Yes.
Awareness is key. That's why I keep posting as much as I can on social media, and I keep
Yes.
to get the word out. I want more and more to get up off that couch and
Right.
come to us.
Well, I wanted to have you on that just for that reason too.
Thank you.
I wanted to have you on it because I knew you could say your story, tell how people can help, get them off the couch, get them involved with some things. You know,
Absolutely.
nobody it's not good to sit in a room.
No,
It's just not good.
no. Being alone, we were God created us to be relational,
Yes.
and isolation is the worst thing you can do for a
Yes.
human
And
being.
you should be so proud of how big this. And I know you're going to divert everything to everybody else.
But I am proud. I'm
Right.
proud that I stepped out in obedience because it's a blessing to see what God is doing just with one little step in the right direction. You know?
Because I didn't know where they went after high school.
Yeah. Well,
Now we know.
nowhere,
Yeah.
nowhere sometimes, but not in this town. We got a place for you.
Well, you know, this is kind of relates, I don't know, but when I first started the school 14, 16 years ago now, all those kids, they waited outside. They waited outside under the bus port until the teachers came and got them and brought them to class in the rain, in the cold. And I was like, this is not right. Bring them into my drill deck.
I remember because I was one of them. I would walk in with Jackson every morning.
Really?
Yes.
And I'm so proud of that.
Yes, I'm proud of it too.
And
I'm
I'm
proud of you for that.
I'm hoping they're still doing that. I'm sure they are.
I'm sure.
But I've just,
I know something for sure. You weren't getting in that parking lot unless you were supposed to be in that parking lot.
we have to bring up.
The chief was going to make sure you were not pulling in the wrong parking lot.
Hey, you know my name tag said?
What?
The Direction Correction Officer.
I mean, you were that. And you were like, I'm sorry, but nope. So,
Well, listen, I'm not going to correct your driving.
okay.
I appreciate you for finally. It's like I got a coup. I got her in here to do the show
so
because you're so busy and I'm so busy too.
We are busy people.
And so for us to get this time together takes a lot. And I
Very
so appreciate you coming. And I'll keep in mind that date and we'll keep in touch. So I'm going to show up at something and I will help.
Okay. So just for a recap, every Tuesday and Thursday.
I love it.
Every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11.
All right, Marcia.
Come on out. I'll put you to work.
Thank you. It's great.
Thank you for having